Welcome to chess, ladies and gentlemen. Maligion Pak dotting inside my chest, ladies and gentlemen. The Hungarian. Cool. So, I have the round 5 game for you between Wesley So and Rashad Rapport. So, of course, for all my people in the Philippines, I will say mabuhay to you. Kamusta na aking makaibigan. Maraming salamat po sa nanonood ng aking mga video. Maraming salamat. Masaya Kong Makita Kang Moody. Appreciate you guys very much. Hello, Elite. Appreciate everybody very much for stopping by, taking a look at my stuff. Anybody who is coming from Hungary, I will say hello in Kusanem. Appreciate you guys very much for stopping by and taking a look at my stuff. This has been a really interesting tournament. A lot of decisive games, a lot of up and down battles. But yes, if you guys are ready to go, let's take a look and see what we have for this game. Okay, so we got e4, e5, knight comes to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. We have knight to f6, and we do have castles by black. Or castles by white, apologize to you. We have knight takes e4, and some of you guys I might be wondering, this isn't giving away a pawn. You are going to be getting that pawn back. There are a few different ways that you can do it, definitely. But what we see in the game is rook to e1, and then we see knight up to d6. And then we have knight takes e5. And we've actually come to the point in the game that if you do want to stop the video and see what black plays in this position, go ahead and do so. Okay, cool. So, if you said bishop to e7, then you would be absolutely correct. And I think, let me see, if I'm not mistaken, knight to e7 seems like maybe there might be something with this move as well. You'd have to move the bishop. I think maybe there might be some merit. I didn't look at this one, but I think knight to e7 might be a legitimate move as well. Basically, anything that plugs up this file, because this rook is, on the way to, being a discovery situation. Most likely knight to c6, winning the queen. So, like I said, if you did say bishop to e7, then you would be absolutely correct. Congratulations. You got a lot of you guys that watch my stuff have seen this before, very many times. But if we do back up, after knight takes e4, one of the other lines that you'll see would actually be d4. And you're just preparing, instead of pushing rook to e1 immediately, you are preparing to get, the rook on this file with some force. So you would normally see knight to d6, bishop would take c6, pawn takes c6. Pawn takes e5, knocking the knight away. Knight usually comes to f5. Queen takes d8. King takes d8, and then you see h3. Now, h3 isn't like, you don't have to always play h3. I mean, sometimes you'll see like knight b to d2. You'll see rook to d1. Bishop comes to g5. Like, there are a lot of different options that you have in this particular position. But, like I said, in the game, we do have rook to e1. And knight comes to d6. We got knight takes e5, bishop to e7, and then it is at this point with this file being plugged up that you do have to figure out what are you going to do with your bishop, because now your bishop is on pre because you don't have this discovery because it doesn't come with a check, so it doesn't have the same oomph to it. So bishop comes back down to f1. We see knight to f5. We got c3, it's pretty common. We're going to do c3, d4 type situation going on. Knight takes e5, rook takes e5. We got d6. Rook comes back down to e1. We see castles by black. We got d4, all very common stuff. This knight is a little bit weird placed at the moment, so you do want to try to make some plans to move it somewhere. And d5 kind of helps you with that. So this is what we see in the game, d5, because you're thinking maybe you want to move the knight back to d6, something in there. Definitely get a situation where this bishop can come out. So we have bishop to f4. We see bishop to d6, and then we have queen to f3. Now backing up, after d5, it's actually pretty strong, like somewhat strong for bishop to d3 to actually come. This is just developing your piece back to where it's supposed to be, not on f1. And then we have with probably c6. Knight would come to d2, and then you have knight to h4. Knight down to f1, bishop to f5, and this has kind of solved the problem like I was talking about before with the bishop. You know, the bishop finally came out. The knight is not really too bad on the rim because there really isn't any way to exploit it. And also what it was doing as well, it was, you know, the queen might possibly want to come here. So as you can see, this move, also this move is taken away from the queen. And you really kind of only have queen h5 to put it on. But, you know, g5 is going to take care of that all, you know, completely. So, yeah, after knight to f1, bishop f5, g3, asking the knight what it wants to do. Bishop takes on d3, queen takes on d3, and it's showing that this is actually about half a pawn's worth of an advantage. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You definitely have some things to take care of as white, but, I mean, that's actually a legitimate thing that you can do as well. So, d5 comes, like I said, we see bishop to f4. We got bishop to d6. Queen comes to f3. And pretty much all white needs to do is just kind of get this knight developed, and then we're going to be good to go. We see knight to h4. Queen comes to e3. And, you know, this is beneficial because you're not worried about rook coming to e8 because, of course, that's just going to be pretty mating. I mean, of course, if the rook swings over, you're going to be looking at this. Bishop has to cover, and, you know, it's just not nice. Like, that's not where you want to be. So we see knight back to f5. We see queen to f3, knight back to h4. Then we see queen to g3. Knight comes back to f5. And then we have queen coming to f3. And it is actually in this position that the players agree to a draw by threefold repetition. And it sounds kind of weird. It's definitely not that long of a game. It's not generally a kind of game that you want to show. There's not really a lot into it. Like I said, there wasn't a novelty. There was really only one good spot to kind of pause the video and have people guess. But I think a majority of people are going to like pretty much guess bishop to e7 because we see this all the time. Now, after the game was over, Wesley So gave the interview. And he was basically saying that it didn't have anything to do with him winning the prize. Or, you know, like just maintaining his position in the tournament. He actually was saying he wasn't feeling very well. So, you know, he said he didn't get that much sleep the night before. So, I mean, he just wasn't feeling that great. So, you know, instead of like, you know, kind of exhausting himself, he figured he'd go ahead and just, you know, go ahead and secure the draw. So, that is that game. What I think I'm going to go ahead and do is try to get another game that I can show. They don't usually do as well as a Wesley So game, but you know, I will try to see, you know, what I can do. But I appreciate you guys very much. And I won't do... No, I will not do that. So, let me see. Makito Taya Mamaya. Pa'alam. Merci to anybody. Anybody who is speaking Cebuano. I will say my Buntog to you. Good morning. So, magandang umaga, magandang araw, magandang gabi. Whatever time you watch this video, and I appreciate you guys very much, and I will see you next time.